Yes, our guest is in studio. He is the A-list AMC TV host, radio host, CEO of 254 Entertainment, 254 TV. Hashtag Hustle Yako. He goes by the name DNG.
Yes, sir.
Yanni, this day came to be.
Yo, I'm excited to be here, man. First, let me say it's very different to be on the other side of, from being a presenter and then being a guest on the station. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wanna see atunanga hii setup yao. He said me pink.
I'm telling you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming, DNG. Of course, you know DNG, who is, one of us here at Switch TV, but we've been dying to interview him. We're so glad you came today, and not only just because we're interviewing, but you're also pushing a great initiative.
Yeah.
So do we need to introduce you? No.
Let's move on swiftly. And moving on swiftly, can we talk about your Punguza initiative?
Yes, we can.
What is it all about?
It.
So, I love this t-shirt.
Thank you so much. As you can see.
Is it with print?
First, zinakam order. Remember place order kwa distributor anazituma kwa ofisi.
Sipo unajua tutakuja happy hour. Crash
tomorrow.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
So
t-shirts ziko hata kuna paka v-neck for the ladies. Sisi wasi tumekachora nini, so nipate two sizes and organize. And as you can see, it's a Kenyan initiative. Yes. That's why the Kenyan colors are there. The black, green, red, white republic. And Punguza is a youth sensitization and advocacy campaign on responsible sexual behavior. I think it's a conversation that we need to have because there's a lot happening with our young generation and people are not talking about it because sex is an uncomfortable conversation have.
Yeah.
If kids are ready to talk about SMSs, politics, sports, nini, entertainment, but time ya sex kila mtu anajifanya I am not partisan. I do not partake.
I don't do.
And it's taking place, man. Kama jana mnaona ile video imeunleashiwa, ile video ya some guys who've just closed school and then on their way home and they stopped in a bush, wakajirecord, wakidry hump madem. What does that tell you? That it's taking place, and we're not encouraging young people to participate in sex, but we're saying that you cannot sell abstinence to a generation that is already sexually active.
True.
So what can we do to avert crises like teenage pregnancies that are 400,000 Kenya, 400,000 every year in Kenya. We also have 33% of the new HIV infections being amongst youth. It's crazy statistics. Kilifi County alone had 40,000 reported and documented pregnancies. A lot of these also lead into abortions. Are we talking about that, or are we pretending that my son is so good, my brother is small bro, angaliangi madem, mi peke ndo ameangalia madem, lakini small sis, so we need to talk about it, and we need to not demonize the young people when they express themselves. And that's what Punguza is about. We're telling guys that, what, if you must go out there and engage in sex, please be responsible. Please know their consequences, because every action has a reaction.
We actually talked about this on the show recently, and that's why I want to understand what the goal of the initiative is, because we spoke about it recently. We realized that, as you said, a lot of people are also not informed about certain things. Where is this information supposed to come from, DNG? And as you said, as a young generation, do you find that, do youngins leave home with this information, or is it things you feel that they go and find out there? Basically, as you just said, about sex and what it entails, the risks of it, the consequences of it.
I think, in the house, people don't talk about these things. Your mom and dad are there, your bros are there, but no one talks about it. In fact, even when, let's say you're watching a movie and there's a scene, an erotic one, X-rated, kila mtu jifanya aoni. So at home you don't get that information. You might get it from your peers in the estates, the older boys unaona. Like for me, let me speak for myself. When I was younger, of course you go through adolescence, puberty, unaona na manyege nini, alafu ama demo anaweza. Before that ulikuwa unaambiwa girls are bad. If you follow girls, you will not go to university. Kusoma, mimi nimetoka familia ile kusoma ni lazima. Nika realize these chicks are not even bad. So that. So you learn it through your peers. You go to Form 1. For me, Form 1 was life changing. You go there and people are talking about the experiences. Kwanza ka second term hivi sasa zile watu wamezoeana vizuri. Ati wewe holiday ilikuwaje? Mimi acha nikuambie. That's where guys start chocha 9. So even if you've never even partook, you start there. And then you don't know how to do it, so you go. Kwanza kuna uongo zingine ati, for example, ukikula dem na ni first time na ni vajo haezi pata ball. So unapata uko kwa shida nini, unatafuta na makarao. It's actually a legal matter. Man. So umezima simu, umeingia mitini. So those are the problems. So I think the information needs to come from media first and foremost. It's a challenge to everybody, even Switch or any other station, or even the personalities like you guys drive that agenda. Even the icons like entertainers who guys follow us every day religiously. Umsame dunini, amenda wapi, akona nani, ametoa nini juzi. We need to also take up an agenda and push an agenda. We need to, sell positivity to this generation that looks up to us as leaders. We need to embrace that we are leaders. You guys being seen on TV every day, you are leaders. So what are you championing? What are you feeding out there? I think apart from that, young people need to know that they have rights. That you can actually access these services. Junapata mtu, you wanna have sex, but you can't go to a chemist and buy CDs. Jukingia pale, we ni mles kwanza, umse anakatu ni mzee fulani ameketi hapo na overall ya white na anakuuliza sasa hii ni ya nini? You know that, asha kujudge maze. Na wewe unataka kujikinga, so unasema, wacha tu nienge hivi kavukavu nini na kesi baadaye.
I'm interested to know what inspired you to do this personally, because it's something you've taken up as a personal thing.
Let me say this, like, it reaches a point in every person's life that they ask what next. I've been entertaining young people for 15 years, since I was 17 years old. Like, I've toured all over this country. I've toured in different African countries, I've gone to Europe, I've gone to South Africa, I've gone to India, I've gone to Dubai, name it. So you make money, you do great projects, you work with great brands, and then you figure out there's something else, that God-given purpose. So for me, it's social impact that is legacy driven. I want to leave a legacy behind, I want to say that this is something I did for my generation and I gave. And it's the second initiative, by the way. We started another one called Hustle Yako. You might have heard about it. In 2017. And that we just been driving conversations about unemployment and poverty. That was the first thing that hit us, and I realized that everywhere I go, mtu ananichado. Kwa nini ananichado? Genji, nijenge, nisaidie, nyokoleka finje kaso nini. And I'm not a billionaire, I can't walk around with millions every day giving guys. I wish I could, man, but like, I realized that the only thing I can give is my experience. So I use my experiences to teach and give people linkage and positivity and wisdom. So for Punguza, it's similar, because I realized there's a problem. Why are all these 400,000 girls getting pregnant in our country, dropping out of school? And there's also an economic impact to that, because if you don't go to school, or you hauna job, kudishi, so what do? You start now kuuza mwili, transactional sex. You know what I mean? True. That's the reality. But the solution is right here. We don't need to wait for a white man or woman from Europe or America. And I'm not a racist, by the way. I'm just saying these solutions are within.
But do you think...
And somebody has to do it.
Yeah. You've been an artist before. Yeah. And you know the power of music, the power which music has when it comes to this generation of ours, you know. So is your campaign also going to entail like music that gets people to that kind of... like to understand this better, because right now if you ask all the youngings, they're being fed the packaging. Yes, walamba, lamba. You see, and that's what actually they're living by. That is what they're doing, because now that's the thing which we are saying, like as a society, it's okay. This is the it thing. This is what is trending right now. So, what are you gonna do about it with your organization initiative?
So right now, first we're doing this media tour. We've been behind the scenes. We've spent a lot of time, resources, and energy talking first to like-minded individuals and organizations, steering partnerships and trying to build relationships, and talking to the people who hold budget, the budget holders and gatekeepers, telling them, yo, this is a problem that needs to be addressed. You guys have the resources, come on the table, inject. And how we want to do it is by going into these young people's spaces, their high schools, campuses, the mtaa. Yesterday, there's also that thing on news, man. This 50 plus kids or teenies walikuwa na watch no popale place bezia PS Ni ukweli,
Yeah.
ni ukweli. Na watu tunajifanya iendelee na inaendelea.
true,
Hata
it
kwa
does.
manganya wao tuonesha nini.
It's true.
Yeah.
So why
Even
we
the
shocked?
music, yeah,
There's a
everyone
guy
is
from the
like
police
this.
saying, yeah, we have arrested the owner of the building. Come on, man. This thing happens every day.
does.
So so if the cops arrest the guy, and then does porn stop circulating in the country? No. So they're dealing with a small symptom of an entire problem.
True.
So who has the understanding of this problem, I'm using my platforms to engage media owners, media houses, corporations, NGOs, even government. I've had audiences with different county governments telling them this is a conversation that needs to trickle down even to that small guy in the in that shags, to know that they have access to these health services. Things like STIs people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Unajikunanga tu.
Kaswende.
Kumbe bana, unajikuna nini na ukuna dawa. No, let's be real.
You know, you just
Kuna dawa.
I think we're just going to take a break further to neutralize this situation. We need to breathe. We'll be right back.
Hey.
Yes, welcome back to Chat Spot. This is the show where we talk about everything, and today we are hosting our colleague DNG, and we're talking about his initiative Punguza, and we're getting feedback on our social media platforms. For instance, I'm seeing Kavedish Maina saying DNG #1 hype man. Hey manze, you guy. Anasema wewe kweli happy hour inambamba sana. And then there's Nancy Moruri who says Nzula, you're my crush, but now Jacqueline is going to take over.
Everyone calls me
Okay.
Jacqueline. Let's just Jackie people. Jackie.
There's Susie Sunshine who says I'm tuned in from NAX. I just love happy hour, especially the games. Tricky sana. And then she says Nzula, all the best. There's Wanjiru Catherine who says nothing but love for DNG. Always cracking my ribs, pale happy hour. Those games crack me up. Who comes up with those games?
Yo man, thank you so much for the love. Keep watching the show every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Reruns on Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Who comes up with the games?
Yes.
You know, it's the production team behind the scenes, man. Kudos to our producers.
And then there's Maria Teresa who says DNG, the hype man,
Yep.
work is always dope. Always your biggest fan. Hey, I support your initiative. Wish could be part of it. How can someone be part of your initiative? We have maybe people who would want to volunteer.
Yeah. So first and foremost, like our pages. We are on Instagram at Punguza KE, Twitter at Punguza KE, and Facebook the same URL, Punguza KE or just Punguza. Like, look, learn about what we're talking about. Engage in the conversation. We have very interesting conversations that we have periodically, like talking about condoms or use of the use of no condoms. You know what I mean? Dry fry. We talk about such things. The things people don't want to talk about. Plug in. In terms of volunteering, we're kicking off events. In fact, we have our first event next Friday. That's the 9th. It's taking place at Gedurai 44. In celebration of the International Youth Day. It's a partnership with a consortium of organizations called Youth to Youth Nairobi. So we're plugging into the event. It's going to be amazing from 8 a.m. till 6. Itakuwa pale Gedurai 44 at the Chiefs Camp. So tunaingia vijijini, tunaingia mitaa. Hizi campaign zile za tima uptown nini, tunaingia mtaani. Kwa hivyo kaeni chonjo, come into a block near you, a school near you, a campus near you, inshallah. Tutaingia ndani, itakuwa noma sana. To volunteer, we have an email address. Maybe you guys can post it later. It's punguza at 254ent.co.ke, or you can get it from our Instagram page right there.
Yes, so follow
And engage.
I love what there's a guy on Instagram and just it is different when men are talking about sex.
Yeah.
Like a man wanting a change in the society. It's really good, and I'm now certain that there will be change when men get involved.
Amen to that.
This. I'm so proud of you at DMG.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So
Support
that's
us, man.
amazing.
Yeah, do you feel that people are embracing, do you feel that the young generation you're speaking to is actually listening to this message? Are they embracing what the Punguza initiative is doing?
I think there's a lot of interest, especially when it's communicated right. And we had a very bold and daring teaser phase when we unveiled it in February. If you look at our posters on our social media pages, we had things like banana wraps, You see the smile on Noni's face and the smile on Jackie's face.
Yes.
That's the excitement
We
we
love
want
bananas.
people. We don't want to talk about sex like it is a biology class. Now we are having coitus and you know. No. It is the way you talk when you're with your boys. Say, ule dem jana nilimpiga lakini leo Joel nasikia siko fiti. And we have those conversations on the groups, on the platforms, and we give advice. People ask questions. Like, I remember one DM we received on our page, like somebody is having sex with someone who's HIV positive, but they're using a condom. Are they also at risk of getting HIV? It's a big question. And so we engage, and if it becomes really technical, we refer. So you know, we're also talking to like the KMPDU Secretary General, Mary Kigali, very interested. The Students Association, Kenya Medical Students Association, very interested in working with us. So you know, we're going across everywhere, grabbing people's hands and saying, you know what, this is not about DNG, it's not about 254. You come in. What is your expertise? What is your focus? What is your agenda? Fix it. Yeah. So
Speaking of the teams you're working with, do you also work with people who offer counseling? Because you know sometimes the introduction to sex is not you wanting, it's rape and abuse.
That's a good challenge, man. I think that's something we need to incorporate into our activities. I've also been piggybacking on different people's activities just to see what they're doing. Like I remember working with Adele Onyango on a campaign called She, which is about rape and abuse. We went to Madare and getting the girls to talk about that and share what their experiences are. So yes, we are open to any sort of partnerships. Last, I think maybe a few weeks ago, I got an email from somebody who was talking about the deaf. How can the deaf negotiate for sex and learn about sex and learn about contraceptives? How do you communicate to them? So they have a solution. So we're open. It's open forum. So if you're passionate about that, come onto our campaign and drive that. So yes, I want to see you guys at our events and activations. Show up. And you know what? The challenge I tell everybody is offer your time. When if you don't have resources to give, it's not a problem. Just come as you are.
True.
And I was challenging another partner I was speaking to, and they're saying, we're struggling to get funding. There are budget cuts everywhere. So are we going to say because we don't have a sponsor that we're not going to go and do an event? No. Even if there's no PA and we get girls to huddle like rugby and we talk, that is an event.
And I think
volunteering,
someone can volunteer, attend, the other can volunteer PA, and things can happen.
Tumeambiwa kwenye mneza pata and get to know more details, ujumbe, how you can get there, just be part of it. And it's just that day. We are going to miss Nzula so very extremely much, and as in, it's been real, Mama. It's been, pioneer. We'll always remember you. We love you so much. And
niko na kitu
nilete mwendo fanye kitu tunafanya.
Nimekuja na kitu, ngoja kidogo. Unajua ngoja kiu.
Tembea.
Ama mmeniletea banana.
Well
done. Mama. But you know where to find me.
Lazima kama ibada.
Nimesahau kisu.
The knife.
You don't disappear without
a lollipop from the camera crew. Really? Nilipo a lollipop. Oh,
Mama, we wish you all the best. We love you so much.
Thank you.
Man, show will not be the same without you.
It will be okay though.
Man,
I'll be watching you guys. Nikate sasa.
Sasa ni venye tuzimba happy.
Na msemi hii keki imesponsoriwa na DNG.
Keki imesponsoriwa na DNG.
Nimejitolea.
Okay.
Zula, nimejitolea.
Asante sana kakangu. So how do I do this, jamani?
Kata kadika.
Nakwambia, atuzimba happy birthday, juicy birthday.
Kwa heri.
Keki hebu tell us. Talk to your people.
Okay, I did a live video earlier and I said almost everything, but I'll say this. Asante sana kwa the love you've given me, the support you've given me, my team, they have been amazing. And the guys you don't see here on the screen, in, they're behind the scenes, and you know we can't do the show without them. So thank you for you fans. Some people have followed me from way back 10 years ago when I started in a very small radio station to date. So asante sana. I don't want to be emotional. I wouldn't want to spoil the
truth,
because you never know, maybe there's an after party. But for now, please continue watching Switch TV. They have amazing shows. They're launching more shows, and of course Chat Spot for me will always be home.
Yeah,
and I'll miss you guys.
We'll miss you too,
so
Zula.
Can I say something as you go?
Yes.
As an outsider looking in,
Yeah.
this show has been great. Like, for real. Like, if there's one show I watch, kwanza mi watch reruns inakuanga weekend, so inakuanga repeat pale top right. Hapo nimetulia tu nyumbani. Mnakuanga na motion tamu sana. Wallahi mnakuanga na motion the best. So this collaboration.
Thank you, DNG. And we're also so proud of you because you're doing such an amazing job. This initiative is just so great. We're always talking about youth issues on this show, and I can guarantee you, today you've definitely touched a few people's lives. I hope you guys will check out the Punguza initiative that DNG is running. We support you, brah. Let us know when you have anything. We will come through, and that's what we're all about, switching for good. And you know, you're going ahead and doing that for us very well. We're proud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sasa kata keki tukule sasa. Mama, all the best.
All
the best in whatever you are going to do.
Thank
We love you. We're gonna miss you.
I love you too.
Mosquito lights, drops lights. Just for I just
Sasa atu
You can see for us.
kata keki kata keki kata usiogope kata keki kata keki kata.
Hey guys, we need to remind you this. Show manzia kutoka next week ni Monday to Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. na usiku na nimeangalia kama nje wrong. So guys, Mondays to Fridays 6 to 7 p.m. and remember repeats zetu zitakuanga 10:30 but they're going to 11 to 12. So yes, we got you. Tuonaneni on Monday.
Yes, indeed.
Sasa, producer
amazingly.
Yes,
love you guys.
and for the cake, Nikki imeingia studio leo. Nikki imeingia studio leo.
You only got one plate. Thank you.